Last Saturday, I did something pretty incredible. I ran the Xterra Gozo 11-kilometer trail run. I really believe that conquering those 11 kilometers gave me a preview of what I'm actually capable of. And it's been the biggest up level of my confidence in my entire life, I think, to be honest. And that is how running has completely changed my life. So let's go back to the very start. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, I'm Emma and I'm gonna be taking you on a journey today, so stick around till the end. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I am the queen of talking myself out of good ideas that I have. I promised myself that this year I'm gonna do things that I've never done before, and I'm gonna get over my anxiety and stop putting things off. Whoever knows me knows that I don't typically do things just for fun. Like, I'm very goal oriented, I'm very focused as a person, but I have a habit of putting a lot of pressure on myself, and that takes away from the joy and the fun element of taking part in races. And I focus way too much on my performance to the point where I put myself down. I push myself to try and be better, and instead of like celebrating and congratulating myself for any like improvement, I always like beat myself up for not doing as well as I would have wanted to do. So I kind of always postponed formally taking part in races or any like formal sports arena. Last week I actually took part in my first race. So I'm 33 years old and I finally got around to doing it. And it's fine, it's never too late. I don't think there is a limit to when you can start pursuing your dreams. Like, sports has always been a huge part of my life. I think my dream career would be to be an athlete, because I'm always in such awe when I see like documentaries or people like who are athletes, and the mastery that they have over their body and their mind is just incredible. So this is me living out my amateur athlete dream in one way or another. I remember being at the start line, super nervous. This is my first race ever in my life, and I had no idea what to expect. I was with my running group who are experienced athletes. They've done races several times before. They knew exactly what was going to happen. They've done this exact route, and I was just there in the middle of them, low-key freaking out. I had no idea what was ahead. I went into it kind of blindly, which worked in my favor and didn't at the same time, because I think if I knew how hard it was, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I wasn't prepared enough. I didn't eat enough, I didn't drink enough, I didn't study the route. So I felt like there were so many points that I could have improved upon, but I would take those lessons for my next race. The morning of the race, my heart was pounding. I was feeling the adrenaline coursing through my body, like as we were lining up at the start line, surrounded by seasoned athletes, completely out of my element. But I know that when I'm in those positions, that is when I grow as a person and I just become a much better version of myself. I remember thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? Like, I have no business being here. Like, I'm not an experienced runner, I'm not an experienced athlete. I am freaking out, I'm panicking that I'm not going to be able to do this. And this was literally 30 seconds in. I told myself this is gonna be a challenge, mentally more than physically, to overcome any mental blocks I have. It was super hot. Like I was overheating, I was dehydrated, and every instinct in me was telling me to stop. I can't do this. I can't. Like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I running uphill in Gozo in the sweltering heat, dehydrated? What am I doing? I can't do this. I'm not a runner. And then I said, no, I am a runner. I've made being a runner part of my personality at this point. Like, I can do this. I've shown up. I have my parents and my sister and my coach waiting for me at the finish line. I'm going to do this. Like, just lock in, just do it, you're here. There's only one way to end this race, and it's at the finish line. There's no turning back now, and you're either going to just focus on one step at a time and give it your all and do your best, or you're just gonna give up, walk it back, and be so disappointed in yourself that it's probably gonna eat you up and send you into a spiral. And that's not happening. I'm not gonna let that happen. Somehow, an hour and 23 minutes later, I crossed that finish line, and I proved to myself that I can do hard things. And ever since then, I feel like I've become a new person. Like I have goose flesh at the moment, because I genuinely didn't believe, or I didn't even expect this one race to be so significant, to have such an effect and an impact on my life. So much so that when I eventually did cross the finish line and I saw my dad there, I saw my sister, I saw my coach, I just started crying my eyes out, and I hugged my coach and I said, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just did that. The main thing that I took away from this race was the fact that impossible things shrink when you do them. And what I mean by that is the sense of pride and accomplishment that I feel is actually ridiculous, and I don't think I've ever felt this confident and excited in a very long time. And that's saying something. Completing something which a few months ago I thought was actually impossible. I was injured, I was not running. It completely transformed the way I view my goals and my capacity and challenges in general, to be honest. The boundary of what I believe possible permanently expanded. Like, I'm already looking at my next race, and when I crossed the finish line I didn't even care about my time. I had no idea what my pace was. I wasn't wearing a Garmin, I was wearing my Whoop, which is faceless, and some other team members came up to me and said, oh my god, I can't believe you did this time, it's your first race. I didn't think I was going fast, so hearing that just like made it even better. I was just leaning into how my body felt and pushing when I could, and taking a few steps back when I felt like I needed to just regroup and catch my breath a bit. And the fact that I finished was enough at that point. I reached the finish line, I finished strong. I remember coming up to the last kilometre and seeing my dad waiting for me, and he started to jog alongside me, and that honestly, I don't think I would have been able to finish if I didn't see him there. And I remember just seeing the last 500 meters and somehow mustering up every last bit of energy I had to sprint past the last stretch. And I see my coach at the end and I see his face shocked, because I don't think he expected me to come in so soon. And I just started crying because I did it. Like, I genuinely didn't think I was going to manage. And finishing it was enough. Like, I proved to myself that I'm capable. I did what I said I was gonna do. And that is the best confidence hack ever. And it was an indescribable feeling. I literally was on a high the entire day, and I'm still running on that high. Like every time I think about it, it's just surreal for me. And it got me thinking about happiness. And the thing is, I was hung up on the fact that I'm 33 and I'm kind of getting into it late, and I've always been slightly obsessed with time and feeling like I'm running out of it. But the reality is that there is no timeline, and everyone's kind of moving at their own pace, and everyone's going through their own journey. And maybe this had to be mine. Maybe I had to come into it late. Maybe I had to really like know that I want it. It's only your own expectations that you attach to things and to outcomes that creates this pressure and adds a lot of unnecessary stress, to be honest. And I'm talking from experience, trust me. We're not falling behind just because we're not doing things at the same pace as anyone else. You're not running out of time. You're not lost. You're just following your own intuitive clock. And that's completely fine. And this is what I'm starting to realize and accept as time passes. And what really matters is now, and doing things now that you want to do. What would happen if you stopped waiting to feel ready? I'm sure there's a goal that, as I'm speaking, popped into your mind. I'm sure of it, because we all have those maybe one day, someday goals. What is it? What are you willing to do to actually pursue it? What can you do? What are the 5 steps that you can do this week to actually get closer to making it a reality? Can you commit to taking just the first step? For me, that first step was signing up to the race. Then it was booking the hotel and booking the ticket and taking a day off work, actually showing up for the race and finally completing the race. And remember, the lead up to something is a lot scarier than the actual thing, because we create these imaginary situations, we build things up and we make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. And if any of this resonated with you, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I get to keep creating this kind of content and sharing my story.